Okay, welcome to Right to Heal. Again, I want to make sure that you understand that I will be taking questions, but at the end of our session, about an hour and 20 minutes, somewhere between there, we're going to Q&A. This class will be shorter than we budgeted for. It'll take us about an hour and a half total with questions. It's being recorded. I'm recording it right now through the magic of Zoom. And so you may want to come back and listen to this recording on my freebie page, my website. The recording will be accessible through the freebie page on my website, and it'll be free to listen to it anytime you want. Also, this is very important to make sure you have a pad of paper and a pen handy. And you're all ready to go, buddy? Cool. If you have paper that's unlined, that works best. So take a moment to get the pad of paper and pen handy. This class will be broken into 3 different sections. The first section, we'll talk about the ability of writing to heal, where the history of it, where it came from, how we can access it, recent data on writing to heal. Then we'll take a quick bathroom break, and we'll come back. We'll actually do some writing exercises to demonstrate how writing can be a healing tool, not just on a spiritual level, but a mental, physical, psychological, and emotional level as well too. What you'll learn from this class tonight, you'll be able to put to immediate use in your life, whether you're dealing with writing of books, preparing to write a book, writing a book, or just dealing with some of life's more interesting issues. And again, the most important part of this class, the 3 sections of this class, in my opinion, is the practical application of using writing to heal. So that's where we're going to do some writing in class tonight to demonstrate some techniques. And I'll be giving away a few free gifts at the end of tonight's session. So make sure you hang around to receive those. And I want to apologize in advance for any background noise you may hear. I'm doing this in my house. One of the beauties of being an author is you can work from home, and I enjoy working from home. I have a large animal family. So what passes by the door, my Great Dane may bark, my Chihuahua may bark, my Shih Tzu may bark. You may see a cat flying across in the background. I've got 4 of them. That's not unusual. So I apologize in advance for any inconvenience that may cause you. Okay. I'm going to try to speak very slowly tonight so you can take some notes. And I'll suggest at times that you do take notes. Writing to heal is an age-old practice. It's an age-old practice. The first one to really bring to our attention the ability of writing to heal was Aristotle. Aristotle said, to live a full and complete life, every human being needed to do 3 things. Raise a child, build a home, and write a book. Most who understand Aristotle's work understand that what he was referring to is the spiritual, emotional, mental, and physical healings that come as a result of writing a book. One of the reasons writing a book is so healing is because if you do it properly, if you write a book properly, using a divine spiritual approach to writing, then you are directly in the company of the source God, Mother, Father, God, whatever you want to call it, he, she, or it, on a consistent basis for a prolonged period of time. So if you can imagine sitting in the company of the Creator for 30 hours over 4 days, the immense healing that would transpire in all areas of your life would be unmeasurable. So back about the legacy of healing to write, writing to heal. Aristotle was the first one in history to point out the healing benefits of writing. But it's also alluded to in the Bible, the healing benefits of writing. And I quote John 1-1:1. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God, was with God, and the Word was God. Let me repeat that again. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. What I feel this is alluding to is if you connect properly through one's desire to write, your desire to write, it will be moving through you God's healing, clearing, and inspirational wisdom, which will cause you to heal. How do I know this to be the truth? Well, because I've been working with new authors for the last 32 years. I've worked with over 85,000 authors in the last 32 years. The thing that really surprised me more than anything else in working with them was not how quickly and how efficiently they could write books. Because my typical author to retreat finishes a book in less than 2 days. That's amazing unto itself. But what really challenged my consciousness and really challenged my belief system initially was the fact that I saw writers as human beings go through so many personal metamorphoses, so many personal changes, so much healing in the course of writing of their books. That's why I think this is such a mainframe opportunity for us to talk about. So fast forward a little bit. So we talked about Aristotle, we talked about the Bible. The next time that writing took on a really huge significance in the world was when Roger Sperry, who won a Nobel Prize in medicine in 1984 for his Nobel Prize theory on the right-left brain theory, showed us how any of us could connect with the so-called muse through writing. He showed us. As a result of that, some really great books came out. I want to show you some of them. And Sperry's theory showed us how the muse was accessible, not just at our beck and call, but we carried it with us at all times because the muse was already inside of us. In 1978, this book came out, Drawing on the Right Side of the Brain. And based on Sperry's theory, Betty Edwards, the author of this book, said, if Sperry's right, all we have to do to gain divine contact and inspiration, and how you can teach anybody to draw, is if you go to the right brain using Sperry's theory. So this came out. And basically, Betty Edwards says Sperry's correct, that we can reach divine inspiration. I can teach anybody to draw. Next came out a book in 1983, 82-83, by Gabrielle Rico, called Writing the Natural Way. This basically did the same thing for readers who are artists that Betty Edwards attracted. This did for authors. Rico said, if Sperry is correct, and we can reach that divine inspiration which is already inside of ourselves, in our right brains, we can access it. Anybody can write. She showed us how we can do this through Writing the Natural Way. This is a very divinely led book. Rico is a colleague and a friend of mine. And when she first came out with that book, she was an English professor at the University of Stanford. And I read the book, and my life changed as a result. It answered so many questions. It answered so many questions that I had about writing and the things that I was going through. You see, when I wrote, I felt really good. When I didn't write, I didn't feel good at all. So writing became a positively addictive obsession for me. I had to write because when I wrote, everything seemed to go great. When I didn't write, nothing seemed to work. So I read her book, and for the first time in my life, the personal benefits of writing made sense to me. So I picked up the phone. I called Stanford University, got directed to the English department. got Rico on the phone. And I said, Professor Rico, she goes, yes. I said, I read your book. And I was starting to elaborate on the fact that I love the book, how it changed my life. She acted really defensive and said, listen, I don't know where the book came from. I had to write it. If I didn't write it, I would have went crazy. My colleagues don't like it because they believe I'm trying to put them on a business by saying anybody can write. I cut her off at that moment. I said, I'm calling because I love your book. It's changed my life. Her and I became friends afterwards. Very divinely led book. And that book was the predecessor to work by Natalie Goldberg, for example, Writing Down the Bones, who showed you how to tap into the muse. And it showed that anybody can be a writer as long as you were willing to get emotionally involved. The Artist's Way, Julia Cameron, is another great book that came out of Sperry's theory and out of Rico's work. Then people began to notice things that I was starting to notice as well too. They began to notice that not only could you tap into the inner artist or author, but when you did so, lives changed, people healed, people birthed purposes, messages, books, art. And they began to see, as they tracked back through the history of art and literature, that people that succeeded most greatly in art and literature and acting, sculpture, all seemed to be in the same state when they did their finest works. And they saw how unless an author wrote, he or she was in pain. And the New York Times said 81% of Americans felt that they had a book stuck inside them, was trying to get out. So there's a lot more frustrated authors out there than we know about. Now, authors to begin with are human beings. They're just human beings. Maybe, and I challenge you with this question, maybe your purpose is not only to write a book, but your purpose is to heal yourself through writing a book, through reaching that divine connection that your book can take you to. So as a result of this theory spreading forward, Rico wrote another book called Pain and Possibility. You're writing your way through personal crisis, through pain and possibility. Writing was starting to take on the form of a healing art. Another great author, Lucia Cappuccioni. She realized that we could reach our right brain competence by writing through the non-dominant hand. So she came up with a theory about how to get there, which was writing with a non-dominant hand, what globe you lived out of, what one you expressed out of, opened your life up. Another good book, Writing as a Way of Healing. Writing as a Way of Healing. All of which were predecessors to all these books I brought up were predecessors to the work I've done now for the last 32 years. And eventually led me to write this book, Right to Heal. Right to Heal. Now, how my book differs from those others I just held up is it's very direct, it's very hands-on. I don't try to prove a theory. And by the way, if you send me an email at the end of the show, I'll be happy to send you a free digital copy of this book. I take a very different approach. I don't try to prove a theory. I assume the theory is correct, that writing can lead to healing because I've seen so much of it in my time, and I lead you to heal your most wounded self through the use of this book. Now look at this book, how small it is. This is the smallest, most powerful book I've ever written. I've written 29 books. Why is it small? Because when we're dealing with healing and we're dealing with massive amounts of evolution and change, which the exercises of this book represent, people can't bite off a lot of that. They have to bite off a little at a time. People as well need a sense of accomplishment. They need a sense of accomplishment. They need to feel like, wow, I just did a chapter, even though this one chapter in this book, look at, it's about over a quarter of a page in length. When people are talking about changes and soul evolution, they need instant gratification to keep moving on. Look at the size of some of these chapters, one paragraph. Now, when I sat down to write this book, I did not sit down to write it based upon the fact that I was going to write a book called Right to Heal. I sat down to write it because I felt a book coming through me. I didn't know what the heck it was. I ended up sitting down writing this book in about 3.5 hours. And then all of a sudden I wrote 4 other books in the next 8 days. Wrote a whole series of them. Out of all the books that I wrote, this, as far as I'm concerned, Right to Heal is the most important. Right to Heal is the most important. You see, the artistic, expressionistic, inspirational aspects of ourselves comprise a certain aspect of all of us, are the sides of us that are oftentimes most misunderstood and as a result, most damaged. It's also the most godlike self, part of ourselves. When I have authors sign up for one of my retreats, I know for sure they've got 2 major reservoirs of resistance. First reservoir deals with the healing that they need to go through that has led them to reject the divine inspiration as it pours through them. It becomes resistance of undeservability. You know, we accomplish amazing things at our retreats. Our authors do. And we do it because, number one, they're ready and prepared and because the system we have works. But to prepare for a retreat, I not request, I require them to read this book and do the exercises, and we will do some of the exercises tonight. Your soul's waiting to be birthed. Your full soul, not just the acceptable aspects of it. Your voice, your purpose, your message. Without using something like Right to Heal, there's a small chance of you being clear enough for you to live that experience easily, joyfully, and successfully. So I sat down to write Right to Heal. I was initially, I'll be real honest, I'm really candid about everything in my life. Initially I was wondering what I was going to do with this pamphlet size of a book. I was wondering if it was written just for me or it was actually going to find a place in the world. Over 100,000 people have read and used this book through the years. And everyone that comes to one of my retreats reads and uses this book. And I get to speak to each one of those people. And I've heard nothing from them but accolades and compliments in regards to what Right to Heal has done for them. Again, I'm going to give you this book for free. I believe in tithing as a spiritual art form. And I used to give money to charities. And that was okay, but it wasn't really fulfilling because I wasn't always sure where the money was going to. So I tithe 1/10 of my products and income toward producing products like this, which I give away for free. So, question is, why is writing a healing art form? Why is it an art form? And are other art forms just as healing? I believe other art forms can be just as healing, but writing is easily the most popular healing art form available. Why is it a healing art form? Okay. I'll try to slow down so you can take some notes here because this is really important. Because if you want to be an author, if you want to be a happy human being, there's certain aspects of us that need to be healed so our potential can be lived. Where our educational system innocently falls short in the way that it teaches writing. It falls short from the perspective that it teaches writing from an intellectual basis. Because it says writing is an intellectual art form. Because the people who study it and try to perfect it, usually very unsuccessfully, are intellectual by design. And writing is a healing art form. But writing is also an emotional art form, spiritual art form, and a physical art form. It's a holistic art form. And when you bring all four of those components of yourself in alignment, and you open up to the inspiration that can come through writing, that gives God, source, whatever you want to call he, she, or it, the opportunity to come pouring through you, clearing the way for itself to embody you and move through you through your creative, expressive voice and your experiences. That's why writing can become a healing art form. Now, it is a healing art form. Now, if you ask, if the New York Times did a survey on how many people want to be dancers or singers or entertainers or sculptors, I don't think 81% of those different artists, 81% of Americans would agree with the fact that they want to be a singer, a dancer, actor, sculptor. But 81% of Americans believe that they have a book stuck inside them that they want to get out. And I challenge you on this point. If you want to write a book, maybe the reason you want to write a book is because of the healing premises that come with doing so. That doesn't mean you have to short shoot your desires to be a best-selling author. No. Maybe there's something that needs to be done before you can become that best-selling author, or something that will happen as a result of becoming the best-selling author, writing the book that will become a bestseller. I think that's the case. I've been working again with new authors for 32 years. This has become my ministry, and I've tried to understand at the deepest level possible. And all I can understand, all I can see is this. The reason that people want to write books is because there's books stuck inside them trying to get out. And when they write them using the method that I share, one that was shared with me, they heal, they grow, they expand, they birth. But they have to be prepared to do that. So many writers have used drugs and alcohol or insanity to get to their art form. They've left their minds to get to their souls and ruined their lives as a result. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about positively, proactively stepping forward through using writing as a healing art and accepting it as a healing art, whether you want to become a best-selling author or whether you just want to heal. And writing has become so popular as a healing art form that 8 out of 10 psychotherapists use it with their patients to heal, help them heal. The one thing they're missing, one thing these therapists are missing, they're allowing their clients to journal. They encourage them to write things down. One thing they're missing, this is really important, the one thing they're missing, that they have to, one thing they're missing is to get the full benefits of writing as a healing art form. You need to take time to transition beyond the body, beyond the mind, and connect with God directly. That's very important. In our lives and in our cultures, we have been taught to become human beings. That's a good thing for being a human being. But what makes a human being really outstanding is that a human being's connected with Source of God. And you have to take that step to grow beyond the intellect consistently every time you want to write before that opportunity to connect directly with the Source portrays itself. So, what do we have to do? Write this down. Take time to write this down. You know, there's a lot of talk about writers have to be very disciplined. That's true and that's not true. The type of discipline most writers believe is necessary is not necessary. What discipline means is following this little routine I'm going to give you to counterbalance the inappropriate training that has kept you away from channeling and moving God through your life as significantly and easily and as innately as possible. Because this is an innate art form to connect with the Almighty, with God, with Source. So, first thing you want to do is set a specific time when you will write. Set a specific time when you will write. Best time to write is first thing in the morning because our logical minds are not yet woken up, and as a result, won't get in the way. Number 2, clear your environment of distractions. What that normally equates to is speaking to the people in your life about what you're going to do. Don't ask them if you can do it. Tell them what you're going to do. And this is very important. Ask for their cooperation. Say something like this. You know, I feel there's a book stuck inside me, and I feel there's a lot of healing associated with the writing of this book. And I'm at the point in my life where I need to take this step. And I want to be a good husband, wife, son, daughter, friend, colleague, employee, employer. And I don't think I can be who I was meant to be without doing this. So I need your help. And seriously, so ask for the help. Say, I need your help. And what I need is pretty simple. I'm going to write specifically during specific times during the day. Normally in the morning. And so that doesn't interrupt the flow of our normal lifestyle. So I'm going to ask you just to leave me alone. Don't interrupt me. Respect my time, my need for space during that time. And I guarantee you that as a result, there'll be more of me available to us and to everyone as I do so. So ask people to assist you with this and explain to them why. Don't just start writing and disappearing into a room every morning to write, not telling them what you're doing. People have a tendency to get suspicious. Sometimes they may think you're crazy. You want them on your side. So create an environment void of distractions. How much time do you need? 20 minutes a day, minimum. And it's very important to do this consistently, right? Consistently. It's like taking a prescription consistently. You know, if you skip a day, it kind of throws things off. If you don't fulfill the use of the entire prescription, it has a tendency not to work. So consistency is important about building a new habit form. In this case, will lead to healing. Third thing is you want to relax. You want to relax. When you relax, your left brain goes to sleep. When you relax, your left brain goes to sleep. And the left brain thinks it's your God. But it's actually keeping you from connecting with your God, your source, your higher power, whatever you want to call he, she, or it. So we want to put that resistance of that left brain to sleep by relaxing so you can hear. You know, there's several different ways to hear. Some of us do it through our ears. Some of us are kinesthetic. We feel things. Some of us see things in our mind. We need to relax to be able to hear and feel and believe and be affected. How do you do that? It's pretty simple. You don't need to go to India and study meditation for 12 or 15 years. Not necessary. I'm going to send you a link to a CD called Transitioning Back to the Author You're Meant to Be, which is a CD I've been using for 10 years, I guess it's now. Using at retreats. I could not hold the retreats that I hold without the use of this CD. The CD not only helps people get into the state of relaxation, it helps keep them there. Now the CD is made up of 3 different tracks. 3. First track is an instructional track. In 10 minutes, it tells you how to use it. Second track, and this is the one that helps you relax. The second track is the one that helps you relax through a 6-minute relaxation drill. Every time you're going to write, listen to that relaxation track to get you nice and relaxed. Opens up your right brain to whatever you believe to be above. Third track is a subliminal relaxation track, which through moodless music keeps you relaxed. So the first point of discipline is to get relaxed, create an environment, void of distractions, and go through the CD and play the CD as you write the third track of the CD. Now, the weakest link we all have that keep us away, that keeps us most away from divine connection, is our bodies. Okay? The inspiration hits us really hard, hits us really strong. Our bodies flip out because they can't keep up with the pace and they shut down. So we have to focus during that relaxation drill. We have to focus on putting our bodies in such a position that they can move the inspiration through us, otherwise they'll shut down. Because if it shuts down, it'll lead you immediately to writer's block, and we've all had that, where you can literally write physically, but you know it sucks because the inspiration is not there. We don't want to experience that. There's no reason you have to experience that ever again. So what you need to do with your body is, number one, make sure you're sitting straight up in a chair so your spine is straight. Arms and legs uncrossed so your circulation flows freely. Close your eyes as you relax, because when you close your eyes, your consciousness goes inward to connect with the muse or God inside you. As you relax, put your chin to your chest. When you do that, it disconnects your left brain from your consciousness. Disconnects your left brain from your consciousness. Next thing we need to do for the body is breathe properly. When the left brain takes over, so does fight or flight, and we get very shallow breathing. We're very scared. The body cannot function in alignment with inspiration if you're not taking in the proper amount of breath, oxygen. So when you breathe out, the thing you want to focus on, is your exhale. As you exhale, your shoulders around, your gut will come in, and you'll be creating a void that'll be filled by an abundance of oxygen, and you'll be using your entire lungs to breathe. That's really important. You'll be using your entire lungs to breathe. See, we have the size of lungs we have because they carry the source, the amount of space necessary to bring in the oxygen we need to sustain our bodies. So you want to use the whole lung and not half the lung, because you're only breathing through half the lung. You won't have the oxygen your body needs to sustain its needs to be able to function inspiration-wise. Next major point. When writing, to keep the inspiration coming through, here are the things I strongly suggest. Again, these are all things that are going to help you attune your body to writing and keep your body attuned to writing so writing can embody the white light of God in you and the healing that you need or want can transpire. When you're writing, write as fast as you can. That equates to keeping the pen moving at all times. This time we're going to write in longhand. Keep the pen moving at all times. If your pen stops, the inspiration stops, writer's block starts to sink in. Do not read, edit, or judge your material, which will slow you down. And reading is a left brain drill. Don't do that. And most importantly, always write what you feel. Always write what you feel. If you write what you think, you connect with your brain. If you write what you feel, you connect with your heart. Your heart has a direct connection to the Almighty. So I want to talk a little bit more about the healing of writing, but I want to do so after you've experienced some of it. So I want you all to take a real quick 5-minute bathroom break. Make sure you have paper and pen handy, especially if you have a lineless paper, that works best. Take a 5-minute bathroom break, and please be back at 6:50 Pacific Standard Time. Be ready to write. I'll take you through a relaxation exercise, move you through the experience, give you some questions that will dislodge some aspects that you need to be healed. Go ahead and take a 5-minute break right now. Okay, just another minute or two before we get started, so we can experience the healing of writing tonight. When you come back to your computers, make sure your pad of paper and pen is handy. One more minute before we begin. Make sure you're sitting up straight in your chairs, spine straight. Better sit straight myself. Uncross your arms and legs. Close your eyes. Drop your chin to your chest. Breathe normally just for a minute or so. Again, sitting up straight in your chair. Arms and legs uncrossed. Eyes closed. Chin to your chest. Now take a nice deep breath in with your eyes still closed. Exhale deeply. Blow it all out. Blow all that oxygen out. Nice deep breath in again. Blow out that breath. Empty all the old air out of your lungs. Nice deep breath in again. Blow it out. One more time. Blow it out. Chin still to your chest, eyes closed. Want you to allow an image to appear in your mind. I'm going to give you the basics of the image, what I'd like you to see. You can fill in all the details. I'd like you to see an image of yourself as an infant, a newborn infant, an infant under the age of a month. Maybe you were just born. Maybe you just came out of your mother's womb. Maybe you're being taken care of by a nurse. Maybe you're at home in a crib. Nice deep breath in. Blow it out. Nice deep breath in. Blow it out. Into your chest. Nice deep breath in. Blow it out. And I want you to connect with that infant that was once you. That infant that was once you. Feel your pulse. Feel your heart. Feel your love. Feel your confusion. Feel your parents near you. Feel your surprise at having been born. Your enlightenment as having been born. Allow yourself to feel. Just feel. Listen to that part of you. Listen to that earlier you. What are you saying? What are you feeling? Are you surprised? Are you happy? Are you scared? Are you frustrated? Are you angry? Are you disappointed? What? Now open your eyes just for a moment. Pick up your pen just for a moment. I want you to copy down 3 questions that I want you to ask this infant. Here's the first question. Question number 1. If you were a road, where would you lead and why? If you were a road, where would you lead and why? Number 2, if you were a fish, animal, or fowl, if you were a fish, animal, or fowl, what would you be and why? And why? Most important part of these 3 questions is the end, and why. Question number 3. What one event and or situation, more than any other, what one event and or situation more than any other has caused you to become who you are, Again, I'll repeat those questions quickly. If you were a road, where would you lead and why? Number 1. Number 2, if you were a fish, animal, or fowl, what would you be and why? Number 3, what one event and or situation more than any other has caused you to become who you are? Lay your pens down again after you copy down that 3rd question. Close your eyes, chin to your chest. Nice deep breath in. Blow it out. Nice deep breath in. Blow it out. Connect with that infant as you breathe. Your eyes are closed. Connect with that infant. Start to hear he or she begin to respond to those questions. Keep your eyes closed right now, though. Once we begin to open up to those questions and that infant's response, you may be surprised, or you may not be surprised by what you hear and feel and see. Keep the eyes closed. You may finish part of the first question tonight, may finish all 3. Either way, you can come back to these questions. Nice deep breath in. Blow it out. Nice deep breath in. Blow it out. Open up your eyes. Let the heart of that infant speak through you by beginning to answer that first question. Then when you're done with the first question, move into the second. You'll be writing for about 15 to 20 minutes. And we'll come up with one concluding question. That'll be our 4th question. But for right now, begin to write. Make sure you keep writing as fast as you can. Keep your pen moving at all times. Don't read, edit, or judge, and always write what you feel. Just let the heart of that infant take over. To guide your actions and your inspirations. Make sure you keep breathing deeply as you write. You can breathe and write at the same time. Exhale deeply. Keep those lungs filled with good, fresh, strong oxygen so you can stay connected to the source through your muse. I'll be back in a moment. Just keep writing. Keep moving through those questions. And remember, the most important thing, the most important aspect of these questions is the and why. Breathe, breathe. Exhale as you write. Okay, let me have your attention again, please. Finish the sentence you're on. Put your pen down. Check your posture. You can come back to these questions, responses to these questions anytime. Check your posture. Arms and legs uncrossed. Close your eyes again. Drop your chin to your chest. Nice deep breath in. Deep exhale. Chin to your chest. Nice deep breath in. Deep exhale. Nice deep breath in. Deep exhale. Eyes closed, chin to your chest. Now replace the image of that infant in your mind with who you are right now in your life. You don't have to see yourself sitting exactly where you're sitting if you don't want. If you can see yourself in a restaurant or taking a hike or out with friends, but see yourself who you are now. Close your eyes, chin to your chest, and connect with that deeper aspect of who you are right now. Look in your eyes in this image. See what you see. Feel the difference between you as the infant and you as the adult. And we're going to ask that adult a question or two with the ambiance of that infant still lingering inside you. I just want you to listen to the questions this time. You don't have to copy them down. Just have to listen, feel. Then when I give you the opportunity, then write. Listen, feel, and then when I give you the opportunity, write down what you feel. Here are the questions. Who has wronged you, hurt you? What was it that was done? When did it transpire? And how has that adversely affected you in the direction and the quality of your life? I'm going to repeat that again. Repeat these three questions. Who has wronged you, hurt you? What was it that was done? When did it transpire? And how has that adversely affected you in the direction and quality of your life? Sit with the questions, the response to the questions just for a few moments. Allow yourself to feel it. Open up your eyes. Pick up your pen and write down whatever it is you're feeling. Write down whatever it is you're feeling. Okay, finish the last sentence or two that you're working on. And to reassure you that you can come back to this writing at any time. I'll instruct you on how you can do that. Let me have your attention again, please. What you just experienced on a very limited basis is like the tip of the iceberg, the type of expression and healing that writing provides. Just the tip of the iceberg. You see, when we tangibly release feelings, thoughts, frustrations, and eventually replace them with understanding, that's the definition of a true healing taking place. Writing can do that. And when that source energy comes into you, it pushes out all the things that stand in the way of it connecting directly with you. But it needs an exit route. That stuff needs an exit route. That exit route is through writing. The reason writing may be different than any other art form is because it has a tangible form of expression. See, when you're writing these things down, your mind can look and say, oh, M is expressing his frustrations. That means they're leaving us. They're no longer bothering us. They've been replaced by an understanding which we can embrace. And that's when the healing transpires, you see. So what I strongly suggest is you drop my assistant, Mary Stevenson, Stevenson, drop her an email today or tomorrow at mary@tombird.com. And if you don't already have a copy of Right to Heal, she'll send you a digital link to it, a link to the digital version of it. She'll also send you a copy of the Transitioning Back into the Author You're Meant to Be CD, link to that as well too. That's what you need to heal. Not only to write a book, but to heal. To heal first, so you can take the step to step away from the healing and step into expression. Again, the primary preparation exercise I utilize for my retreats, which have been so successful, is this book. Second thing I recommend you do is take a retreat. You've got books inside you already. You can attend them remotely, you can attend them live. We have deals happening all the time for these retreats. But the reason you were able to connect as successful as you were able to connect tonight is because there's something pushing that inspiration through you. And it's the weight of the healing energy in combination with the weight of a book. So you don't need to go to any expensive psychotherapists. You don't need to go to any healers. We're our own healers if we want to be. And what really heals us is the divine energy source. And the writing is the way to connect with it on a consistent, permanent, inexpensive basis. Email Mary. Check out our retreats if you'd like to attend one. I'd love to see you at a retreat. Writing a book using the method that I employ is not only healing art, but it's moving beyond the healing into true expression, voice, purpose. So I'd like to go ahead and answer any questions you may have.